on to scripting. And many of the things we just looked at for searching and finding patterns and piping are used in scripting. Another thing that is important in scripting is that the file, the script, is actually executable. And because of that, I need to quickly cover permissions. Also, what's a script and how do I write it? And there will be some small scripts here that you can test to run. Again, they are in, I think actually they are in script now. I think I moved it over there. Yes, they are in script instead. So I need to change. Yeah, they are in script. So permissions. The command chmod is used to change permission for files and directories. And an important thing you can do with permissions is to make a file executable. You can also make sure that only specific people can read a file of yours or do something specific with it. Maybe you want to be sure that you are the only one who can delete a file or write to it. So let's look at an example. And I can also do that here. Yes. Here you see these permissions. As I said, this is for the user, the group, and also everyone else. If there is an R, it means readable. If there is a W, it means writable. If there's an X, it means executable for the user, for the group, and for everyone. And they can be changed, of course. And there is also one more thing, that is the very first line here. There's a bit here that is D, as you can see, for a directory, and a minus is a regular file. And it can also be an L, which is when it's a link, symbolic link. So to change permissions, you use the command chmod change mod. And you could say plus rwx, and then the file or the directory that you want to change the permissions on. That would give a read, write, and executable permissions to the user. You could remove it with minus, or you could just add for one of the things. But for instance, if you wanted to add executable permissions, you would say plus X to add it for the user. Minus WX would remove write and executable permissions for yourself. You can do the same things for the group by prefacing with G, and for others with prefacing with O. And it's also possible to just do it for everyone at the same time with A or with UGO. When you look at this online, you will see it's also the case that you can give these permission changes with numbers. So you would find, you can look those up, but it's safer and easier to use these read, write, executable. Because otherwise, for instance, 755 would be read, write, execute for yourself and read and execute for everyone else, I think, or something like this. But definitely go with these ones instead. They are easier to work with. And don't make your files deletable for everyone. It's probably a good thing to say. It's also possible to change ownership. We're not going to cover it here, but you can read under more commands about child. This is change owner. So it's time to talk about scripting. Scripting is used to perform complex or repetitive tasks without user intervention. All Linux commands can be used in a script, including the wildcards. Most common reason you make a script because you want to avoid writing the same command again and again. And usually, if it's just a one-line command, you can use alias. And alias, I will quickly mention under hints tricks. There are some files with some scripts in this directory script. There's analysis, image find, and program. They all have the postfix .sh that is for shell script. You don't need it, but it is convention and means it's easier to find them in your directory if you have a lot of files. They are, in this case, marked in green color. It will not always be so. It is computer dependent, but that means it's executable. You can also see that it has the executable bit set. If it did not have that, you would need to do so, and you would do that with change mod and then plus X. And then, for instance, analysis, and I can remove it just to show you. You can see now it's no longer executable. I'm adding it again. It's executable again. And this file here is a very simple one. It is first, you must notice there is this line here. It's called shebang. It is telling the system that it is executable by the bash system. Just put it there. It will normally not be, I mean, it will usually work even if you don't do it for bash scripts, but I believe it will not work for Python and R scripts. So it's usually a good thing to put what it is you want to execute. So if it was Python, we would put Python here instead, but here it's bash. So this one here, it looks for the line ABCD in the file that, and then throws it to file underscore filtered that. And then you are using that file as input to the other script, program.sh, and throwing the output to another file. So this is a short script to just do something. And check that the permission is correct set, that it has an X when you do ls-l on it. If it doesn't, then set it with change mod. And you can do that like this, or just with plus X. And then you can execute it with just ./analysis.h. Let's try to do this. And it just ran. And it should have created a file filtered, which was already there because I already ran it. And then also it should create output that, and that it did. Let's look in it. There's only the line 2 because it didn't do a whole lot of stuff. But you can look inside program.sh as well and see what it does. It just word counts the input. And that is explained here. And there's another thing, there's an example script that's called image find. It finds all files with extension .png in the directory under it. It's that one. And then it copies them to my images. Let's try do ls star image. So you can see there are some files there. And in this case, I just wanted to copy those, that's called that PNG, to my images. And you can see here that it goes into this directory. And if you don't have it in your home directory, you need to change this path to the directory in the project storage. Just use pwd to find the directory and put that into the file with nano. Then then it looks for the file, for files. It looks for those with .png in the name. Then it executes the command copy on this output and throws it to my images. And then also it runs another line that is looking for my images here and sees if it has the word ER in it and throws it to a text. It's not doing anything useful. It's just doing something so that you will get an output. And I have another slightly more advanced example that also uses a loop, but I'm not going to talk about that because we're not going to cover loops, but we will cover them in the intermediate bash course that we will give, I assume, in the beginning of June. And this one would look for files ending in EPS and convert them to PDF, which could be useful if you had created EPS files with some program that needed them as PDFs for including in your article.